what I want to hear? And I said no. And he pulled the trigger. He took the barrel back out of my mouth, and he went in his pocket and pulled the shell out. And he told me again, nigga, listen. And he turned his back. And they proceeded to do that 3 times. Now the 3rd time that he did that, in my mind, when I heard that trigger click, I actually thought that he was blowing the back of my head off. That's how the mind can condition you to think things that you wouldn't normally think. Now, once they wasn't successful in that, they tried to hang me by my cuffs, which was cuffed behind my back. And because of the detective standing on the bumper of the detective car and the other 2 lifting me up to him, and they would release me so that my arms would go all the way up, and they would wrench the inside of my arms. They did that. They did that a few times, and finally that didn't work, so they took me to the side of the detective car, opened the back door, and Sergeant Burns told me, nigga, don't move. And he took out his gun, or automatic, he put it to my head. And they redid the handcuffs, but they put the handcuffs in front of me. Then they made me sit sideways in the back seat of a car while another detective came around behind me and got in the back seat. They told me to raise my arms. And when I raised my arms, the detectives pulled my arms down. When they pulled my arms down, that made me lay on the back seat of the detective car with my feet outside the detective car. They pulled my pants and shorts down. The man took an electric caliper and he turned it on. And he stuck me with that electric caliper. And they kept shocking me to my genitals, and they kept shocking me, and they kept shocking me. And all the while, they kept calling me niggas. My name was never Darrell Cannon. I was a nigger. All day long, a nigger. After a while of being stuck with that caliper on your bare genitals, you get to the point where you're willing to say anything to stop them from electrocuting you. And that's what I did. I told them anything they wanted to hear to stop being shocked by them with their electrical. Now, if you see me getting emotional, it's not because I hurt, it's because I'm mad. Anytime I get emotional like this here, I'm just that mad. I'm mad at the fact that Chicago police officers were allowed to do this to me. When they got me in the station, I refused again to say anything. And that time they hit me with the electric caliper in my mouth. It shocked me in my mouth. They had my nerves so messed up from this electric caliper that I felt like I was burning on the inside from having been shocked that many times. And so I ended up signing a piece of paper that said that Darrell Cannon was involved in the shooting of a guy. And as a result of that, that is what got me convicted in a court of law. I had no witnesses, no evidence, no nothing, except that one piece of paper and 3 Chicago detectives coming in court saying that Darrell Cannon gave us a confession involved in a murder. And for the next 24 years, Darrell Cannon fought like crazy trying to prove that not only did I not have anything to do with a murder, but that I was tortured by 3 detectives. Chicago has a dubious reputation, not wanting to face the truth, not wanting to stand up to the truth. Yet and still, they tortured the wrong person. And I say that because of the fact that my mother is deceased, my grandmother is deceased, but both their spirits are inside of me. And I wasn't about to just go to the penitentiary quietly and accept what had happened to me. And as I fought my case in court, the system did everything humanly possible to ensure that Darrell Cannon would never see the light of day again. Every judge that I was in front of was an ex-prosecutor. So quite naturally, he was biased in favor of the police and the state attorney's office. And every step of the way, they turned me down, time and time and time again. But again, Darrell Cannon wasn't about to give up. And after doing 20 years and still going through appeals, the state's attorney's office finally went into court one day and told the judge, "Your Honor, we're dropping all charges against Darrell Cannon." Just like that, all charges. And they did so because by then I had established that these particular detectives from the 70s through the 80s into the early 90s had did almost the identical thing to other suspects. And through the years, other suspects proved that they were not involved in the cases that they had been charged with. Now, please understand that I was asked this question not too long ago. How do I feel about police officers? And I'm quick to tell you that I do not have no resentment towards the majority of the police departments. Why? Because there are some doggone good police officers that do a professional job the right way. These particular vicious detectives that tortured me are not the majority but minority. You know, so I'm focused on them, not the police department itself. I'm often asked the question too, do I have any racism within me? And I'm quick to answer that question and say no. No. I would never in life condemn any people because of what a certain group did. You know, I understand right from wrong, and I understand that there's enough chaos and turmoil in the world that, you know, hatred is not something that should be widespread. You know, I dislike anyone that dislikes me. You know, I'm real about that. You know, but I don't deal in racism. I deal in individuals. You know, that is what I deal in. I did 9 years in solitary confinement in Tam's Supermax. You know, and during them 24 years, I was sent to Tam's simply because of the fact that Darrell Cannon was the person that spoke out. Darrell Cannon was not shy about speaking his mind, and I did it in an intelligent manner. So therefore, I became a threat. And I spent those 9 years in solitary confinement, where my bed consists of a concrete block with a thin mattress on it. Everything I did by myself. You know, it was hell on earth. After having been tortured and then placed in Tam's Supermax, you know, you get to the point where you want to question what the heck is going on? Why you keep focusing on me like this here with all this hell? You know, but then too, I'm a firm believer that everything is did for a reason. And my reason for having gone through everything that I have gone through is because of the fact that God had a bigger plan for Darrell Cannon. And that plan was to come to places like this here to educate people.